Hey guys, welcome to the Something About Tuesdays podcast. I'm your host, Phebe Joi. Join me every other Tuesday for a lighthearted podcast to keep you company while you do your thing.
Hey guys, welcome back to Something About Tuesdays, episode 79. I'm your host, Phebe Joy, and hi. Hey and welcome. Hey everybody, hope your last couple weeks have been good. Mine have been full and good and exciting. And again, you guys are going to be so tired of hearing this, but I have to explain my voice. I have to be like, I promise this is not how I always sound, just in case this is your first time listening. I am sick, you guys. Again, still, I don't know if it's the same thing making its rounds. I have no idea. But yesterday this is Sunday night. Friday, I had a temperature of like 100.2. And then Saturday, it went up to 102.4. And then today, Sunday, it was back to 100.99. I am like, oh, come on. I can't shake this fever. It's got me. I have the chills. Y'all, it's 80 something degrees outside. Legit 80 something degrees outside. And I still have chills. It's ridiculous. This is ridiculous. But, I said all that to say, if you hear the scratchiness in my voice, and this is the first time you're listening, again, I apologize. I am not always this scratchy, but really, you could hardly tell, right? I mean, really. But anywho, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. So we are gonna go look. I can't remember if the last episode I mentioned how Fee had to get an echo for her little heart. But she did, and we had her echo. And let me tell you, so we go in for the appointment. Of course, they do like an initial check everything. I guess check her weight, check her vitals, etc. They check her up and down, and she does perfectly fine. Perfect little angel, precious little baby, hardly makes a peep. A little cries of discomfort, but not full on tears or anything like that, right? So we're like, oh, this baby. So we go to check in for the echo, right? This is just the ultrasound of her heart. Y'all, y'all, you can tell this baby is not used to being uncomfortable. Okay. When I say she cried the from the moment that echo gel was on her skin for the whole, I don't know, 30 minutes that they did the echo, cried the entire time, like screaming at the top of her lungs, like, what is this? Ah. I mean, it was humorous. I mean, it's it just is what it is. Only because I know my daughter wasn't getting hurt by any means, but she was crying like she was. She was crying like, how dare you put this cold thing on me? How dare you parents not rescue me from this? How dare you just let me lay here and be uncomfortable? I mean, she was letting her opinion known. And best believe the minute it stopped, picked her up, rocked her a little bit, and baby girl was fine. She was chill. She was like, I just had to let you know that I was uncomfortable. Now that I'm not uncomfortable, I'm good to go. So that was Sweet Pea. Her echo went well. I talked to the doctor. She does have a hole in her heart. Pretty normal for kids her age, because Hubs had a hole in his heart that didn't close and ended up giving him a stroke later. They are going to monitor it every few months and double check to make sure that it does what it's supposed to. But that went well. That went fine. But the big kind of thing that I want to share with you all is we had our ladies conference, and you guys know this is meaningful for me. This is the first ladies conference that I've been able to attend with having had a kid, having had a baby, and it was so great. There was a Thursday night, Friday morning, Friday night, and Saturday morning session. Thursday night was just the meet and greet. And for us, as I was a singer this year, for those of us who were singing, it was the practice. So it wasn't the conference itself, but I mean, it did kind of kickstart it, and that was fine. The practice went well. You guys, I got to admit, I was probably a terrible praise team member this year, and you guys, I never take for granted the fact that I get asked to sing, because at any moment it can change. So up until I'm no longer singing, I definitely appreciate it and consider it a very high honor to be able to sing on the platform. And So with that, usually, I mean, I am on it trying to learn the songs, learning parts, learning things. But I tell you what, I totally 100% blame postpartum because when it comes to learning these songs, learning the words, learning the parts, you guys, my brain was just half in it. It was like I couldn't focus. I tried to listen to the songs. My brain couldn't go there. It was so hard. Now the actual ladies conference days, I did try my best to listen to things beforehand and be ready, regardless if I know parts or lyrics. I definitely will worship. Um, so at least if nothing else, I'll give God my worship. you know that hack. If you don't know the words, praise the Lord. I'm just kidding. But so we practice went well Thursday. And I did not bring fear or anything like that to practice. But Friday morning was I brought Fee. Mom came with me. I think, did she come with me in the morning? Or I think I dropped her off. I think, yeah, I dropped Fee off in the morning for mom to bring later because we had an early morning practice and it would have been a couple hours before the actual service. And I didn't want Fee being out that long. So I dropped her off at mom's at like 7:30 or something, 8. I can't remember exactly when. We had that practice that morning. Then mom brought her, and Fee got to sit in her first ladies' conference day session with Sister Pedigo, Sister Adina Pedigo. She's the one who led the session. She did so good. She taught a lesson called Good Grief, and it was about the good in grief and letting go of grief, getting through grief, letting grief do good in you, and moving on from there. And if anyone's going through grief of any kind, I would definitely listen to that. She has quite the testimony, quite the stories of grief um, that she shares a little bit of. But you can tell this is someone who practices what she preaches. Right? She's not just someone speaking on grief as just somebody ministering, but someone speaking on grief as someone who has gone through it, is going through it, etc. So she did amazing there. So my fee got to enjoy that, and that went fantastic. Now we had a night session after that. Now, I took Fee home in between. I was like, Fee, that would be a long day to be there from like 11 until 10 that night. So I went ahead, took her home, gave her to the hubs. It was his first time he had the overnight shift, is what I call it. We kind of split it normally, or I take all of it on days that he has to work, which is pretty much every day except the weekend. And but this time I was like, Hubs, I really got to be on it in the morning to sing. I can't do the night shift. And he was like, okay. So he had the night shift by himself and he did great. He made it through. And then Friday night, the service was powerful, jam-packed. Dr. Sister Dana Dostrin preached that night. She sang, she rapped. She's a good old time. And did absolutely fantastic. She talked about putting your foot down, and in the sense of like sometimes you got to put your foot down in the nitty gritty, in the mud, in the dirt, in the nastiness, and you got to feel every bit of the nasty that you're going through in order for God to do a work in you. In so many words. I mean, obviously she brought it so much better, but kind of as like a summary, just sometimes you gotta walk in the mess that life brings, that God's not going to just zing you out of it. You're going to have to walk through it. And so that was a phenomenal message, as you can imagine. Fantastic. Now, my pastor's wife, she is the ladies president for our state. And in between and during and throughout, she was able to minister and really bring it home for us ladies in Kentucky. She did awesome. I agree with Dr. Jostrin. She was like, you have amazing speakers here. You don't need me. I'm like, I know. Sister G, she just ministers in between. It was fantastic. So that was Friday and it felt good. It felt good to have my baby there. It felt good to get out of the house from my baby. All of it was wonderful. And then um, Saturday morning, I actually had two songs that I had solos on back to back. But they went well. You guys, I was nervous. As y'all know, I haven't sang since July. I know you're like, we know, I know, but y'all don't realize when it's been so long since you've sang, you get nervous. You lose a little bit. You lose some of the capacity and the skill and the range just because you haven't used your instrument in a while. So I was nervous. I wasn't nervous so much to sing, as I just wanted to make sure that I could. sing with the anointing that I wanted to sing with the presence of mind that I wanted to sing with, which I feel, while in the throes of new motherhood, sometimes it's hard to grasp. Sometimes that presence of mind is, y'all know, like really hard to get a hold of. And so I was like, Lord, you're going to have to help me because it's so easy for me to zone out right now. I'm not in a bad way, just kind of with the thoughts and the lack of thoughts. That going in my mind. But I think it went well. The songs went great. I was able to get through it. I was able to make it through. I still had my voice by the end, barely, but it was there and I made it. And that was great. And my daughter got to hear me. I'm sure she slept throughout the whole time. But hey, if she was awake, maybe in her sleep, she heard me sing. And then we had a second session right after that. And that was good. Everything went really well. And that was pretty much the conference. Everything went fantastic. It was good. I was exhausted. Through all of that, I usually go shopping and get clothes and things. I think because of where my body is presently, postpartum, I wasn't as eager to shop for things. But you know what I did end up getting though, because it doesn't matter what size you are, a good book is good to you. I bought 4 books. That I was super excited about. And one of them, I didn't realize I just bought the workbook. So when I got home, I had to go online and actually buy the book itself. And yeah, so I bought the 4 books. Let me tell you what they are. The workbook that I ended up getting, that I ended up having to get the actual book, was called Blessed. And that is 90 Days to Change Your World by Ken Gurley and Jonathan George. If you've hung with me long enough, then you know I really enjoy books by Ken Gurley. I like the way he writes, very conversational. He always brings up some very interesting points. That just ways of looking at things that I just never looked at it that way. And so I enjoy reading his book. And in fact, I'm going to talk more about that later on in the episode. But Blessed, 90 Day Transformation. The other books that I got this one book that I have heard a lot of people recommend. In fact, the next 3 were recommended to me. Um, 2 of the authors I don't know. One I had read a book before by the same author. This next one is called Amnon Had a Friend and Other Sermons. It's a book on different sermons. It's written by Jerry Jones. I've heard so many people recommend this book and said that this sermon was like one of his top sermons. I'm very excited to read it. I haven't broken it open yet, but I am excited to jump into that one. When you think about it, if you know the story of Amnon, then that's very interesting because Amnon isn't necessarily a hero in the Bible, right? So you have this guy who is kind of like an anti-hero, but it's not about him, it's about a friend. So I can't wait to read and see like what it is, what points that he brings out in that sermon. The next book is called Four Tamars. Now I have again, this has been recommended to me countless times. The little I guess the description underneath says searching for meaning in difficult circumstances. If you know the story of Tamar, you know that Tamar is a person in the Bible who went through assault from a family member, in fact. And so it's I'm curious to read it. I've heard that it's very good, particularly for those who've ever been in those type of difficult situations, who've dealt with abuse of any kind. That I've heard is a really good book. So I'm excited to read that. And the last book is, I don't know if I said the author, Tina Royer. That's the author for that one. And then the last book is an author that I've read before. I read her book, God Has a Waiting Room. Fantastic read by Sister Kim Haney. Her mom has written a ton of books. Joy Haney, I do believe that's her mom. This one's called Christians and Strongholds, Breaking Free and Staying Free. And I've just heard it's really good. Tearing down strongholds. I think taking control over different things in your life, and getting real about your walk with God. So I'm very excited to begin those, to get through those. Y'all know me and books. I mean, I may not get to them until y'all later this year, next year, but I'm excited to have them for that time when I'm like, oh, I think I need to read this. I think I need to get a little something, something from this. And y'all know I'm definitely one of those people who I don't have to read the whole book to get something out of that book. I will read the part that seems relevant. Sometimes I do get through the whole book, but sometimes I just read the part that speaks to me in the moment and gets me through that moment and that time. So those are the books that I got. Very excited about them. Very excited to start them, and to jump along with that. So now, you guys, y'all already did my apology at the beginning, talking about my voice, right? Uh-huh. Well, okay, we are getting into the first day of spring. Woohoo! I know that's how I tied it in my voice because I'm sick. The allergies. It's not the allergies, you guys. I think I got some type of virus. I have no idea. Not the virus, but a virus of some kind. But anyway, but it is spring. It's officially spring. You guys, just like, what was it? Spring forward, like happened and I wasn't even ready for it, wasn't even aware until it happened. Spring has begun. Y'all, I didn't realize this past Friday was the first day of spring. I was like, what? What? We're in spring? You guys, I haven't created my spring list yet. I've started it. I have the list called Spring List. I just haven't written anything on it yet. I have to decide. Y'all I already know the stuff I want to do in the summer, like go to the zoo, things like that. But I've got to come up with a spring list. The things to do while it's got warm weather, cold weather, rainy weather, sunshine weather. What in the world do I want to do? Y'all, speaking of spring, last week, believe it or not, it snowed. It literally snowed for like a day and a half. Huh? And then just today, this Sunday, it was 85 degrees. Y'all, I can't. This is why I'm sick. My body's like, we don't even know what's going on. This is why my temperature can't regulate because I'm going back and forth between like super hot and like sweating like crazy to being cold and shivering. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But that's why my body is like this weather don't know what it's doing. How are we supposed to know what we're doing? And so yeah, that's been y'all, my poor little body doesn't know what it's doing and not even thinking about my brain, my mind. Okay. Y'all, let me tell you. Okay, I've got two little stories about where my brain has been. Y'all, new segment alert, because this has been almost, I think, every episode since giving birth. Where has my brain been? So this might be where has Phoebe's brain been segment, okay? And the first one is, so in getting ready for ladies conference, I was like, I'm gonna wash my hair, twist it myself, oil, moisturize it. It's gonna be fantabulous. So tell me why I'm sitting there. I've washed my hair. I'm twisting it. I'm putting my oil in it. I am putting, all the product in it. And then next thing you know, I look up and I realize I have not been putting the oil in it. I have not been putting the product in it. I've been moisturizing it with like the water and then completely forgetting to add the product. And I was like, what? What is this? So half my hair is going to be nice, dark, black, just popping, giving life. And the other half of my hair is going to look dry. Not as it's still moisturized because it got some water, but not near as moisturized, not near as shiny. I was like, what is this? How is half my head moisturized and the other half just doing his own thing? So if y'all see me, and half my hair looks on point, and the other half looks a hot mess. Just shake your head, going about your way, and be like, "It's okay. We understand." She's working on getting her brain back. Yes, I am. And so that's the first story. So that was before ladies' conference. The next, okay, I think this is tiredness. It's got to be lack of sleep or something. My next thing, and I don't know if I mentioned this like a month ago, but I've done this a couple times, but it keeps happening. Trying to take a contact out when she ain't even in there. Okay. Yes, y'all. I was like, I need to take my contact out. Again, if you've been listening for a while, you realize, yes, just one contact. I went to my eye doctor last year and they were like, you know what? Your eye's doing great. It's just one of your eyes that needs help. So we're only going to prescribe you one contact. Just one, just your left. Weird, I know. But that's what I do. I put in one contact. Okay, so apparently I can't even remember when I had that one contact in or not. Y'all tell me why I'm pinching my eye. And there is no contact in there to be held. There is nothing in there to be pinched. And I'm like, what is going on? And I opened the case and there it is. Lo and behold, there's my contact. I was like, are you serious right now? Is this what I feel like seeing regular looks like? Is this what is going on with me? So yes, you guys, yeah, I tried to take a contact out that wasn't there and I only moisturized half my hair. But I'm telling you, I'm getting better. I will be getting better. So you guys remember how last episode I mentioned I had a new goal, and that was to be one of those people who can take more than one pill at a time. I've been practicing. I started with two, okay? I took two like regular size pills at a time, and I did it. I made it. I was like, okay, great. Let me see, I take, just to get y'all in the know, let me see, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. I take 8 pills a day, okay? 8 pills. I know. And like half are vitamins. Well, let me see how many are vitamins. Oh, I didn't even include, okay. 8 pills a day and 2 vitamin gummies. Okay. So anyway, so I was like, I gotta be more efficient with this. So I was like, I'm gonna learn how to take more than one pill at a time. Well, I was able to take 2 pills at a time. Quite proud of myself. I did it for like a week. And then I was like, oh, I was getting confident. And I decided to take 3. And I wasn't quite as successful with 3. I managed to choke them down, but it wasn't near as comfortable as the 2. And the couple more times when I tried it afterward, it was like the 2 went down, the 1 was like stuck, and I had to like dry swallow the thing. Like it was kind of miserable. So I was like, okay, I'm good with 2, but I really need to get up to 3. So that's okay. It's only been a couple weeks. I'm good with 2. I will start building up a 3. Like I said, maybe adding water because I'm weird with water. I can't swallow a pill with water, but maybe once I swallow like at a time, then it'll be easier to do with water. So that's just progress update of how that's going. I'm up to 2/3 pills. I will be one of those people who can take a handful. I don't want to be. Like, I do not enjoy the fact that I am on this medication. I am hoping that it's just kind of postpartum meds that, eventually as I get better, healthier, that I won't need them as much. It's the game plan. Most of my pills are blood pressure pills, which I'm like, what in the world? Like my blood pressure went up when I was pregnant, and then it just hasn't gone back down. It's like, no, we're here to stay. I'm like, no, you're not. So anyway, so that's that. I just to check in. We're getting there. We're working on it. Again, if you have tips, holler, let me know. And yeah, just let me know. Now, I did have, so you guys know this whole motherhood thing is new to me. It's something I've desired for a very, very long time. But there are still hard parts of it, right? And one of the hard parts of it is, and I knew it was coming, but taking care of your kid when you're sick. And all my moms, you can nod your head. You're like, uh-huh. And dads, they do their best. Okay, they do try. My husband, he did fantastic. He kept her overnight for me, a couple of nights. He did his absolute best. He did wonderful. But there were still moments where even he was like, I need a rest. I need a moment. And so I had to take care of my baby. And I love to, but I was like, oh my goodness, like, I don't want to get her sick. Man, I was like wearing a mask. I was trying to wash my hands. It was hard to wear a mask because I felt like she was like, who are you? So I would take it off, but then like I'm trying not to breathe on her. So I want to cuddle with her, but I'm not. And she's like, why are you not cuddling with me? You guys. And it's probably all in my head. But I was like, well, she can tell that I'm being distant. But anyway, and so I did have a moment yesterday. I had taken care of her throughout the day. While Hubs was doing his thing, he had to do some stuff in the yard while it was still warm. And I mean, I had gotten the bottles ready. I had gotten things set up for the night. And just had everything set up and had her in a good place when he took her over. And I laid in bed. And to myself, I said, you did your job, mama. Now you can rest. And y'all, it was fantastic. And I went to sleep. But it was that moment of, you know what? I don't feel good. My temperature is over 100. I haven't eaten all day. Nothing tastes good to drink. It's all just terrible. And yet you still managed to be a mom. And now and now you're gonna get some sleep. Hubs has got it. You can rest assured that he's gonna take care of her. And you did your thing, mama. Sleep. And I was like, okay. It was almost like the Lord was like, I got you. Go to sleep now. Now, was my sleep restful? Partially, but not really because the fever gets you. I mean, I sweated like crazy, and then I was wet, so I was cold, and then it was like y'all. It ended up being just a terrible night's sleep. But that's all because of sickness. Um, but I was able to at least initially go to sleep for like a good hour or so before the waves of heat and cold hit me. But anyway, I just want to say for mamas out there, man, rest in those moments. It is golly, there are some hard moments. Taking care of your baby when you're sick is hard. And y'all, I am not looking for the time where like everybody's sick. Oh my goodness, no. Oh my goodness, no. But I'm sure that's gonna come. And y'all are like, okay, I know it's coming. But for my first time being like super sick and with my baby, we're making it. It's tough. It's hard because I don't want to get her sick, you guys. You'll know in a couple weeks if I'm like, y'all, she done got sick. But hopefully not. Hopefully I've been able to give her some antibodies through nursing, and maybe just maybe she won't get what I have. But anywho, so with that, I do want to. I told you guys I was going to talk about the book Blessed. Now, you're like, you're kind of going back and forth. I am a little bit, but I wanted to kind of just mention this book because at Ladies Conference, speaking of feeling rest, right? You did your job, now rest. Um, when I was at Ladies Conference, I told you guys I was trying my best to be present in the moment. It's hard when you have a baby, because even during the preaching, you're distracted by your baby, while you're singing, you keep looking over there. How's my baby doing? At least that's how I was doing. And and so it's hard for you to get something sometimes out of services. And honestly, I speak to that as a mom, but whatever season of life, sometimes there are some seasons where it is extremely tough to be present um in 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 his presence, present in services. But what's fantastic is God can reach you still. I had made it through all the services, feeling good, fantastic services, enjoyed them all. But it wasn't until the end of that last service where she called everyone to kind of do a symbolic foot washing. So you would pray over another lady's feet. That's a humbling experience. If you've never done it, it's humbling. Um, and so I sat there and I was like, I don't feel called to go to nobody. And I sat there a little longer and I was like, okay, maybe like a couple people. So God was like, all right, he wasn't going to make me. But then once I was willing, once I was like, oh, maybe, he's like, okay, there's a couple people I want to put on your heart. And so I was able to go to about 3 people that I really felt led to go to for different reasons each. 3 people that I felt I needed to kneel before. Um, because 3 people that I wanted to honor for me, 3 people that I wanted to humble myself before, 3 people that I wanted to put above me in this situation, and for 3 different reasons. They all represented different things, um, but still just people I wanted to lower myself to. Um, which I think is kind of, one of the purposes of foot washing. And so I was able to do that. And through that, God was able to refresh me. I felt like, oh good. You know, I felt refreshed from that. And so and then it just so happened to work out that when I got home and looked at the 90-day blessed book, I was like, you know what? I think this is what I want to do. You guys know, since last year, I think November, I've been like, I want to find something I can do. I want to find a devotional. I want to read my Bible. I want to do something. I am just looking for something. But it was hard to find motivation, right? Well, I found it. And I don't know what it is, but that 90-day blessed, it stuck out to me. I think blessed because I feel like that's the new season I'm in. I'm in the season of feeling very blessed. And there are moments when I don't know what to do with that feeling, right? There's almost like this guilt that comes with being blessed because you've been in that place of where you feel a little less blessed. We're not gonna say I've ever been not been blessed because I've been blessed through the good times and bad, right? Okay. But there are different seasons where the blessings feel a little different, right? And so I was like, blessed. I want to learn how to walk in this blessed season. I have walked for years in a season of hurt and pain and disappointment and trust and just a lot of good things like trust, faith, hope, all of that, but also just a lot of hurtful things. And so now that I'm walking in this new season, I'm kind of like, I want to do it right. When I walked in the hard season, no matter what, I wanted to make sure I did it right. Even though it was hard, I still wanted to pray, right? Even though it was difficult, I didn't want to give up on God. I knew that wasn't the answer. And so now that times look like they're shifting and light is coming and a new season, a new chapter is here, I want to make sure I walk in this the way God wants me to, right? With the lessons learned in the darkness and with the new lessons that are becoming being in what feels like day. And so I was like, I want to start this book blessed. So I started it. I went ahead and got the digital copy while I waited on the actual book itself to be shipped to me. Because again, I bought the workbook and totally didn't realize there was a book to go with it. So I started the workbook and it just I knew it was the right thing for me because these first several days, one weekend, have been about prayer and the importance of prayer and why we need prayer and I that just sticks with me because I'm like yes, but if I'm gonna go into this season, I still need to pray and I need to pray more consistently than I have been. And I need to get back to that. I need to get back to building that relationship with God, especially now in this beautiful season He's placed me in, right? I don't want the only prayers I pray to be the deep cries of my soul, right? I want them to be the ringing, joyous sound of my heart. And um, so I was very appreciative of that. And I was like, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to do that 90 days. And I want to go ahead and, hey, throw it out there. If you want to do this 90 days with me, jump right on in. It's okay if we're a week behind or a week ahead or whatever. I'm only one weekend, y'all. I think if I calculated this correctly, my 90 days will end like that first week of June or something. But I am here for it. And if you want to join me, if you want somebody that's like, okay, they're doing the same thing, hop on in, do this with me. I think it would be a blessing to anyone and everyone who gets a hold of that. But I also got to say that I'm tying this in with physical change too. So I felt refreshed as well as far as I'm ready to push myself a little more physically, not too much, right? I'm still not going to go to the gym or anything. Not going to my cardio classes or strength training classes, not yet. I'm giving myself at least another month before I even attempt to try to do that. But I am walking. I've tried to walk 10 minutes a day or more on my tiny treadmill that I got from Amazon. If you haven't got one of those, get one. Get one because it's so easy to jump on. I have it in my office, in my little office room. It doesn't take up a whole lot of space. It's maybe 4 feet long and maybe like 3 feet wide. You could just stick it somewhere, and it's just so easy to jump on it, walk for a few minutes, and jump right off. And at this point, I'm not walking until I get sweaty because that's just not the point I'm at. I'm just walking to walk 10 plus minutes, and then I get off, and that's it. And I'm like, that's it. That's my goal. And so I'm hoping to have this 90-day transformation. Y'all, we'll see what happens. That spiritually and physically that I'm doing better. Mentally, maybe we'll see. We'll see. Mentally, we'll see. But that's my goal. And so, if you want to hop on that too, feel free. Feel free. Feel free. Now, I have to admit, I haven't walked my 10 minutes these past 3 days because I've been sick though, and I'm like, I give myself a little leeway, but I have still read my devotional, and kept up with that. So, yeah. So that is my 90-day spiritual and physical goals. One other thing I wanted to tag on to there, and that is kind of with the 90 days and Brother Ken Gurley. Now, I read his book on prayer. I threw that out, maybe a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, as far as a book to read. It took me, I think, almost a year to read it, maybe even over a year, I'm not sure. But in that book, he describes how he went through a name change between him and God. And of course, he has his regular name, Ken Gurley, but then he talked about how really God transformed him. And in doing so, he feel like God gave him a new name. And you're going to have to read the book in order to really get his new name and why is that name. But that kind of for me was a confirmation in my spirit that I'm reading the right book because y'all literally last week or the week before I got this book, I was sitting there thinking, so before ladies conference, I was like, okay, God, I feel like I was feeling like I didn't, and I've mentioned this to you guys before, I didn't know what to do with the scars of everything I've been through in the last several years. I was like, God, I am so excited to have my fee, so excited to be living this life. But I still have remnants, of course, of this past several years. I still have remnants of pain and thoughts and feelings that are just there. I still grieve my daughter that I lost. I still grieve my other two kids through miscarriage. I still grieve all the months that I waited and it just didn't happen. I still grieve the tears that I cried, right? I still grieve the pain that I felt, the hopelessness that I felt. That person is still me, right? I'm on the other side of things in the sense that I have my daughter, but the person who grieved heavily is still me, is still there. And so I remember thinking like, God, what are you doing? What do I do with that? I don't want to stay in my grief, right? I don't want to live there. I didn't want to live there when I was there, right? I was like, but I don't know how. I don't think you just want me to forget it either, right? That's part of my testimony. It's part of who I am. I couldn't forget it even if I wanted to. So what do I do with it? And I really felt like, kind of like, remember where I mentioned how Noah had a miracle that he had to work hard for? I felt like God gave me another person in the Bible, Jacob. And he said, Jacob wrestled with me overnight. And Jacob left with a limp that he was going to have for the rest of his life. He was going to have this limp that was going to remain for forever. Because of his encounter with God, he now has a limp for the rest of his life. And his name got changed from Jacob to Israel. And so in my mind, I was like, so God, are you trying to say that there's sometimes we encounter you in such an intimate, close wrestling kind of way? Have you ever seen people wrestle? They are close in each other's business, okay? And in such an intimate, close way that by the time we're done wrestling, when you've chosen to bless me, I'm still left with an undeniable scar or limp or handicap that that is proof that we had this moment and you changed my name. Like I was like, oh. So in my brain, I was like, okay. So maybe the scars and the pain of everything that I've been through isn't meant to just be disregarded. In fact, it's normal that I still have the scars. And you might be thinking, duh, Phoebe, but y'all, wait with me, okay? You gotta give me some grace, I'm learning as I go. But it was really like, okay, God, this may be a limp that I walk with for a little while. It may not be forever, but it might be forever, right? But that doesn't mean it has to depress me or make me sad. It has changed me. And some would say, for the worse, I can't run as fast as I used to. I don't have that same, some would call it naive innocence about a walk with God, right? But maybe I've got something with more depth now and something that while I can't full speed ahead like I used to, I can still walk in the direction. And perhaps by walking a little slower, I get to spend more time with God. I don't know. I haven't figured out what it is that God is trying to do. But it gave me encouragement. And I was like, okay, Lord, okay, I can I can deal with that. I can deal with the whole with I might be a little scarred from this. I might walk away from this with a limp. Um, but you might also be changing my name. And so now I'm kind of like, okay, Lord, if you were to change my name, what would you change it to? You guys, and that's where we've left off with the Lord. I have no idea. I'm similar to Bella Gurley. I'm like, hey, do you have a name for me? I don't know that God has another name for me. Um, I don't know. But I do feel like, okay, I feel better knowing that it's okay that I'm walking with a limp. That doesn't mean that I'm still not in the will of God. That doesn't mean that I'm still not blessed of God. Because after all of that, Jacob/Israel went on to, work to reconcile with his brother. He went on to be blessed, right? So it's one of those like I just have to trust God and the wrestling and the bruising or the scarring or whatever, that God has a plan and through it all, he's going to be with me and it's going to be okay. And I'll be better for it. And my name will change. So, yeah, so I'm excited about that. I'm excited about these next 90 days I won't like pound you guys with it every episode or whatever, but I will do some check-ins and be like, hey, we're still in there, and hey, 45 days. I've got personal check-ins, like Easter's a check-in, being like, okay, have we made it to Easter? Which, you guys, Easter's only a couple of weeks away. I can't believe it. And then I think Mother's Day is gonna be my next check-in. You guys, Mother's Day. I don't even know what to think about Mother's Day. I'm like, I don't even know. I don't even. Some friends are like, you want to celebrate? I'm like, I do. Obviously, I do. But I'm like, I don't even know how I'm gonna celebrate. I don't even know. I don't even know if I want anything big. I don't know what to do with it. But Mother's Day is my next check-in, and then after that is my summer check-in, right? Just in June sometime. Like, how we doing? Are we more spiritual? Did we make it? I certainly hope so. I hope I can look back and be like, all right, all right, all right. We did good. We made it. But yeah, now just one more thing before we go, and that is this. I do have a music segment, okay, and it is based off ladies conference. You guys, this is a ladies conference episode. It was my big thing of the weeks. I mean, y'all know I have hardly been out of the house. I haven't been a lot of places, and so ladies conference was a big to do for me. So with the ladies conference, we learned y'all like 12 songs, and like all of them were fantastic. And we had some fast songs that we learned, and they were fun. But there's one that just stuck with me. That every time we'd sing it, I would just get a big smile on my face. And I think it's called God's Been Good. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. But the beginning, it just goes, turn to your neighbor and tell him that God's been good. God's been good. Turn to your neighbor and tell him that God's been good. Well, he's been good. Oh, it's simple, but it's so much fun. I don't know what it is about that turn to your neighbor, and I like smile instantly and tell him that God's been good. And I'm like, yes, he has. Um, I think it was like sanctify, save my soul. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Fill me with the Holy Ghost. Look, God's been good and God's been good. And then it's like an old school choir song. If you guys know old school choir songs, they have parts where sopranos, alto, tenors all sing a different part, right? So it starts with the altos who sing the Holy Ghost, just like the day of y'all. Pardon my voice, just like the day of Pentecost. The Holy Ghost, just like the day of Pentecost. And then the sopranos come in. Holy Ghost, just like the day of Pentecost. The Holy Ghost, just like the day of Pentecost. And then the tenors come in. I don't even know their lines. I've been filled with the Holy Ghost, just like the day of Pentecost. I'm making that up. I have no idea if that's it. But you put it all together and you get this really fun, just bum, bum, ba, da, da, da. You know, everybody does their part. Anyway, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go look it up. I do think I um I I feel like it's an original from I can't from the POK church. Oh my goodness, don't quote me on it. But it's a good song. If you want something happy, something just good, energetic. If you are like, you know what, I need a little bit of old school choir, go listen to God's Been Good. And I think that's one of the songs that I was practicing praising with Fee last week. Certainly that one. Um, but yeah, so that's my song recommendation. Of course, other songs, some honorable mentions. I like this one song called Always on Time. There's never been a day that you didn't see me through, God. I worship you. Um, oh Jesus, I was tossed in the water. Oh, it's so pretty. It's pretty. It's like a pretty. It's not ballady, but it's kind of ballady, but also kind of like triumphant with the never been a day. It's a good one too. So I really enjoyed that one. That was one that we sang. And yeah, so those are the top. Those are my top ones. I would have to say that I really enjoyed. All the songs are fantastic, though. Truly, they were all really good. But if you get a chance, definitely listen to God's Been Good and Always on Time. Those will encourage you. So, yeah, all right, you guys. Thank you all for listening, even despite my slightly scratchy voice. Hopefully, in the next couple of weeks, I will sound much better. Y'all, if I am still sick, oh my goodness, at that point, it'd be like, Phoebe, go to the doctor, okay? And the thing is, I've been to the doctor. I've had lots of appointments these last couple of weeks. But anywho, you guys, thank you so much for listening and for tuning in, and I will catch y'all in a couple weeks.